Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an absolutely amazing day. Can you believe we are almost to October? I just keep being amazed at how quickly this year is going. And I'm just so honored that you are leaning into connecting with us today and spending time with us. And we have been focused on finding balance. How do we find that with the year accelerating, all that's going on around us in the world, and shifting into these new seasons and into the holidays? How do we keep that balance? And today we have two amazing experts. I know you're going to be so enriched by getting to know them and hearing what they have to share and bring forward. And I've titled the show today, Going Back to Go Forward, because sometimes when we look back and we can process what we've discovered and bring that forward, it not only helps us achieve and bring forward those things that matter to us most, it gives us clarity. And if we can find a balance in that, we become unstoppable. We can keep going. We can keep bringing forward those things that matter most to us. So welcome, everybody. Thrilled and excited to have you all joining us. And I want us to take a moment and choose to be present. I know we have so many things that can pull at us and want our attention or distract us. But when we can choose to just stop for a moment, to be present, it feels great, and it helps us actually be open to receiving, because I want you to be able to receive everything that is here for you today, because I know there's a reason you tuned in. I know there is something here for you, and I want you to hear it. I want you to receive it. I want you to be able to integrate it into who you are. So as you're pausing, becoming fully present, I invite you to take a deep breath in through the nose, all the way to your toes, and breathe out like you're breathing out through a straw. And just be for a moment. Breathe in again. Feel all that beautiful oxygen coming in and supporting every cell in your body. And breathing out, releasing what no longer serves, giving you room and space for more. Choosing to be present, choosing to be still for a moment. And sometimes we're moving so fast, we can't hear that voice, that reminder, that prompting from our heart, because sometimes it's only in the stillness that it bubbles up and we can hear it. Today, I want you to listen to what's being laid on your heart as we go through our time together and our conversations together. Honor, hear, receive what is touching your heart. Drink it in deeply. In fact, let's take a moment to start our time together. Close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. Place both hands on your heart. Continuing to breathe, and please breathe throughout the show. Both hands on the heart. Breathing. And notice that beat of your heart. Notice the pause, the stillness in between the beats. And if we can rest there just a moment, what is your heart sharing with you today? What is it reminding you of? Perhaps It's whispering something that you need today to encourage and empower and support you. What do you need today that you are willing to receive, because you absolutely have choice? What is it that you need and are willing to receive? Beautiful. Receive that information. Come back into the room. Another deep breath, eyes open, fully present. And I invite you to take a moment to write down what was laid on your heart. Let's start getting it out of swirling inside of you and bring it into reality. Write that down so you can refer to it throughout our time together. Beautiful. So as you are writing that down, something that was laid on my heart is the expansion of that moment when I remember to pause and be still. I can feel expansion. I can feel there's room and time and space for everything, including me, because sometimes we can get squeezed out of the day. So I just felt that deeply and fully as we connected in and listened. So I'm going to go around our virtual room and see what was laid on our experts' hearts as they took a moment to pause and listen. Anne, I'd love to start with you. What was laid on your heart?
Guidance, wisdom, and love.
Guidance
to do what I need to do and share, and the wisdom to, and it's all about love.
Love it. I love love. So beautiful. Thank you, Anne. I appreciate that. Todd, how about you? What was laid on your heart?
Acceptance and encouragement. That definitely speaks to me fully right now.
How beautiful. Boy, if we could have more acceptance and encourage ourselves and each other, just imagine the ripple out into the world. I love it. And then we'll mix in your love, Anne. I love it. So thank you, Todd. Thank you for sharing acceptance and encouragement. I love that. So listeners, as we're sinking into our time together today, how do what Todd and Anne and myself shared, how is that mixing into what was laid in your heart? As we get ready to go to our first commercial break, I encourage you to stay present. Resist that urge to go cross things off the list. Stay present. Really listen to what is being laid on your heart, on your spirit. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow Voice America at Facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed those 2 minutes and had an opportunity to really be still, to be present, and just see what continued to bubble up, what continued to be shared with your heart and spirit. And I invite you to write those things down. Let's co-create what is being brought forward. When you get it out of swirling around you and you write it down, it starts to be brought into reality, and you can look at it and you can interact with it and you can add and evolve. So writing down those thoughts, those things on your heart, can be truly powerful. So take lots of notes during our time together today. And I'm really excited to introduce our first guest. And he is someone I've had the privilege and honor of getting to know over the past year and a half, perhaps even 2 years, and has a powerful story and journey that he's getting ready to share more deeply with the world. So I'm very excited. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But it is my privilege and honor to introduce Todd Boczkowski to you. He, at the tender age of 10, was dealing with things no child, much less adult, should be dealing with. Could his father have killed both his mom and his stepmother? As his childhood picture and perfect family crumbled before his innocent young eyes, he had to navigate the world around him and eventually discovered the truth about his childhood, and that his mom and stepmom had been guiding him and were with him the entire time and journey. He's passionate about sharing what he discovered and having that come forward and help all of us on our healing journey. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful, dynamic, and inspiring Todd Boczkowski to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. Appreciate it. And I'm absolutely excited to be on your show.
I am very excited to have you joining us, and thank you for leaning in. I know this is an especially busy time for you as you're getting ready to release your story and your book on the world, and it's just such an honor to be able to bring you into our conversation today and have you share with our listeners. So thank you for joining us today. And I wanted to start our conversation with why. Why now? Why are you called to bring this book forward? What is it titled, and what are you hoping it does in the world?
So the title of my book is My Two Angels, Turning Tragedy into Triumph. And why now? Why not is my response. I think that it's very easy to, just go on with what society wants us to do. And, we all have a story to tell. And sometimes it can be nerve-wracking, and it could take some time to fully realize what you actually want to do. And sometimes you need to lean into what your heart is leading you to do. And so for me, that meant that I had to go back into the past. I had to, go through a lot of traumatic and turbulent times. But I also found some very valuable life lessons, some very valuable healing lessons. And for me, what it will allow me to do is it will allow me to share those lessons with the world and for others to follow, to, pick up on and use it as a stepping stone for their own life and for their own healing journey.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And, I love that. Why not now? So you took that action, bringing it forward. And so often in order to move forward, we have to go back and review things and process things and heal and glean the gems from that to bring them forward and to move forward. And I honor you doing that, and your story is very full of turbulence, experiencing things that are so extreme and hard to process, especially as a child, and yet you are willing to share and entrust us with your story and bring it forward. And that is just a huge privilege and honor that you are willing to do that. It takes a lot of courage, and that you are willing to share the lessons learned, what you discovered in that to help others. And to me, to have gone through what you've gone through and to come to where you are now is very inspiring. And so I'd love for you to share the title of your book. This is sharing your life's journey, some of the traumatic things that you have gone through. I shared just a touch of them in the bio. Do you mind sharing the title and when it's coming out? Because it's just around the corner.
Yeah, so the title is My Two Angels, Turning Tragedy into Triumph. It will be released coming up here October 22nd. So everybody save the date here. And as far as, some of the lessons that, you will be able to, identify with, and perhaps some of the turbulent times some of you have already mentioned was, yes, my father was convicted of killing both my mother and my stepmother. I also grew up in foster care and in a foster home. And so, there was a threat of, me losing my siblings, actually. There was also some military type of trauma as well. I joined the military. And really, a lot of that also comes back around to the childhood. As I, move forward in my military career, I'm still processing and figuring out things in my childhood. And I think oftentimes what a lot of people can relate to is what pops up in adulthood oftentimes can be traced back to your own childhood, your own upbringing, and what you experienced as a child. And so that was definitely the case for me. And I had to go back and to, go through some of those things in order for me to figure out things, answer my own questions, figure out things for myself that I deeply needed to be answered.
Thank you for sharing, and to be so transparent and authentic in the journey is a real gift to anyone who has the honor to read your book just around the corner, October 22nd. I want to make sure everyone puts that on the calendar. I appreciate you sharing a little bit of what they can look forward to discovering in the book, and just little highlights of some of your journey there. And do you mind sharing the title and describing the cover? It's a very dramatic cover.
Sure. So the title is My Two Angels, Turning Tragedy into Triumph. And, the cover of my book, I wanted a very specific cover. It's an image of two clouds in the shape and formation of angels. And below it is a silhouette image of this little boy and that represents me as a child. And some of the things that, that I had missed out on as a small child. I was a huge mama's boy, and, here as a little boy, I had, two mothers literally ripped out of my life. And so for me, and one of the things that I discover along my journey is how these two wonderful individuals, even though that they were ripped out of my life, they were still in some way, shape, or form guiding me through my life as I grew and came into adulthood.
Thank you for sharing. And I was just, as you're sharing, I was reflecting back on parts of your book. I had the privilege and honor of reading an advanced copy, and it was palatable, the love you had for your mom and moms, and I could just feel that young boy's heart in it, and it drew me in, and the feelings, the emotions that this book brought forward, and that I got to go on this journey with you. I felt like I could even see through your eyes as you were, in your heart and your spirit, as you were navigating parts of the journey. And I found I couldn't put the book down. I just kept going page by page. And there's even a poem that you included in the book. Do you mind sharing a little bit about the poem?
Sure. So the name of the poem is actually is what inspired in part of the title of the book, My Two Angels. The name of the poem is My Two Angels. And it's a poem that I actually wrote when I was 14 years old. 14 years old. I forget, exact age. But it was during a turbulent time. This was at a time where my father was in the smack dab middle of his second murder trial. He was just convicted. He was sentenced to death. He was sentenced to death penalty. I even testified and for the penalty phase during that trial. And so I had a lot of just emotions. And, for me, one of the things that came up during that time was I literally felt like, my family, my immediate family was, getting destroyed and just like a lot of loss. And also grief and processing that grief. And, for me, I was in school, I was in, 8th grade at the time, and, I found an outlet for me to do that. And, so I came up with this poem, and the poem meant so much to me that I kept it, and I actually laminated it, and, I kept it with me for all of these years. And so for me, it's something that meant a lot to me. And so when it kind of came time to, make the decision to move forward and share my story, I thought, what a powerful way to have like a full circle moment of, this poem, the title. There's also a story that kind of runs parallel to that time. There's to the poem and the title, and so there's actually a few different parallel symbols of My Two Angels that runs parallel to it.
Beautiful. Oh, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And you can also just feel your heart in the poem and what is shared. We're so excited for you, your book coming out, all the hearts and lives that will be touched by it. And I just want to make sure everybody has that date on the calendar. October 22nd, Todd's book will be released. We're going to be helping share it out, so you can watch for that on social media. The first 24 to 48 hours, there will be a special rate of $1.99. So we always like to let you guys know in advance. You can put that on your calendar for those of you who want to lean in and have the opportunity to add this book to your library. Highly recommend it. I know it'll touch your heart, your lives, your spirit. And Todd, I just applaud you and I thank you for leaning into sharing your story and your journey in such a way to touch so many hearts and lives. Oh, thank you, Todd, for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And just to let you know, towards the end of the show, we're going to let you know how to connect with Todd and even get on his list so you can be notified as soon as the book's available. So stay tuned for that. And during this commercial break, these 2 minutes for you, really take a moment and see what is touching your heart and spirit as you reflect on all that Todd has shared. We'll be back in just a moment.
A little birdie told me Voice America is on X. Follow us at Voice America TRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Have you become a member yet? Sign up now to become a member of Voice America. It's always free and easy. Plus, you get to take advantage of some great member benefits. Get unlimited access to millions of hours of on-demand content across all of our channels. Keep track of your favorite episodes, shows, and hosts in your own customizable library. Find out what shows you might be interested in based on your favorites. Plus, you get insider access with our newsletter. Membership gives you more. Sign up at voiceamerica.com and click Register at the top right.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and had that opportunity to really start to sink in to some of what Todd shared that touched your heart and your spirit. I'm excited to introduce our next guest. I know you're going to love her as well. Her name is LeMaster. And using her nursing experience and as a certified health coach, she created a course called Taming Diabetes Differently, really designed to help people with diabetes improve their health. She's passionate about helping educate, inspire, and heal those of all ages to be able to go after their dreams. Please lean in, warmly welcome the talented, the inspiring, and powerful Ann LeMaster. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Rebecca. I'm so honored to be here today.
I am thrilled to have you joining us today. And I know that you guys were connecting a little bit behind the scenes, which I love. So I love when connections get made behind the scenes and even as we are connecting out with all of our listeners today. And that just, it makes my heart so happy. And I wanted to start with why this work of helping people in this way is so important to you. What called you to this? Why did you lean in? And what is it you're hoping that ripples out in the world from the work that you do?
Oh, first off, I attribute everything in my life to God. The good, bad, the ugly, everything that's happened to me. It has given me the background that I can relate to most anybody. And I'm old. I'm proud to say that. I'm old and aging younger. I'll be 75 in February. And therefore I can relate to kids because I've been there in the middle and to the elders. And my passion for this stems from my grandma dying from diabetes. She had this, I don't remember if it was in the 70s, I believe. And that's before we knew much about it. So I've always had, I guess I was, as a sickly child, I realized I have a passion to talk about health and not to be sick. And through the way I live, organic as much as I can, my education, because I'm constantly learning, and I don't get sick. And my belief with God is what you think about, you bring about. So when I say I refuse to get sick, that closes the door to illness that can come in, to the negative entities, if you will, that want to get under my skin, so to speak. So I feel so blessed in this world. And my story was going to be about balance, which in a sense it still is, because we all have some kind of issues in our younger lives. And we can stay and in that realm and, be buried and not be happy, whatever. Or we can rise above as, all of a sudden I forgot his name, Todd.
Todd?
Yeah. And at 71, I was offered an opportunity at a Holistic Chamber of Commerce meeting. I'd never met the lady before, and she asks me, if I'd like to do this, that, and I said, I don't know. It's kind of expensive. And, well, yeah, but I guess speaking's supposed to be a good thing to know. Why not? What good does money do if it sits in the bank and accumulates if you don't spend it for something good? So I said yes at 71 years old, November of 21. March of 22, I stood on stage here in San Antonio at Sticker Shop, and I'm talking about energy work, healing animals and people with God's energy. And I froze. Where can you go once you've hit rock bottom? They're applauding. I'm beating myself up for 2 weeks afterwards. And I kicked that evil twin out of my life. And I had a makeover, and my life has bloomed ever since. So I've come from that to improving on the stage. I started my Common Sense Living podcast because most people don't have common sense, and I'm full of it. I started as an author. And from that, I just keep growing. And God gives me this, gives me that. And God names my course, Taming Diabetes, differently. He always talks to me from the left, and like at the temple. And when he speaks, you can listen or you cannot. I chose to listen. So going from that to inspiring people that they can get off the medications, give or take. I'm not saying that my program is going to save their life, but it will improve their life if they apply it. Beautiful. I know because I've done it myself. In as little as 6 weeks, my A1C went from a 6 down to a 5. No medication. I've never been on medication. I have so much knowledge, so much about what's going on in the world and how it is disrupting us. And if you look beyond that and don't listen to that, and go with your heart and with God's input, your life can be so much better. So my life is so much better. God told me to do a summit in February, February 8th here in San Antonio. I don't know what to do, how to do it, but he's guiding me. he's providing because I know I need to get the word out.
And thank you for sharing. I love how much you have done and the courage it takes to say yes, to lean in, to face, quote unquote failing. I never see it as failing because it always serves, and to climb up again and to keep going forward, keep sharing, keep listening to God, keep bringing forward those things on your heart, to keep learning and choosing what you listen to. There's just so much wisdom and nuggets that have come forward in what you have shared already. I just so appreciate that. So 2 things I wanted to circle back on. One, your podcast. Can you just share a little bit more about that? I know it ties into common sense, which is brilliant. And then 2, I'd love for you to share about your book.
Okay, my Common Sense Living podcast, I have so much, I'm constantly learning. I'm consumed with out of balance in a sense on that because my focus is on health and improving my health, leading by example. And it's just an avenue to get health information out. And I have been gotten 2 strikes on Facebook for telling the truth. So I say, telling the truth, the way I paid my education to learn, then I want my money back. Then my first book, and I wrote it, excuse me, in 2.5 months. It just flowed because the name of it is Heaven Sent, spelled with a C. So if you Google that, you're going to get perfume. But it's Heaven Sent, listening to your inner voice. And it's about my many spiritual experiences. And do I have time to share one of them?
Yeah, we can share one.
Okay. This is my favorite. It's November of 16, I believe it is. And I have a far infrared sauna, and it's November in San Antonio, and I'm so hot. I said, honey, I got to go outside and cool off. No sooner did I sit down on the swing on the patio, and I saw my grandma, my dad, and my nephew with their hands reaching out to me, looking just like they did when they were alive, the same age, everything. It looked just like, and I closed my eyes and clasped my hands against my chest and said, oh, for me. I opened my eyes and they were gone. But that was just so awesome to me. So that's one of my favorite stories in my book. And the colors are purple and white. And the guy who did the cover doesn't know anything about me. And so the hara comes down from the sky onto my head. And there's roiling clouds on each side of my shoulders that look like thunderstorms pushing me forward with my message. And other people see wings. Other people see the heads of beings. So the cover of the book even speaks. So that's my prize. I'm in 4 other anthologies, but nothing is as cool as my book because I have so much info in there.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And really sharing those things that you are called to share so passionately and powerfully. So I love that. And I'd love to circle in on balance and, going back to go forward. You have so much experience in your journey and so many things that you are discovering and learning and continuing to bring forward. As you look at balance, what are some of your thoughts and tips that you can give us around that?
Grounding is the best thing. Always. And for me, my favorite in the morning is to sit outside with my cup of coffee and survey my little kingdom that God has provided. And just take in nature and enjoy the coffee and give gratitude. And I found that the more gratitude I express, the more is given to me. And the more that's given to me, the more I can pass on to others.
Beautiful.
So I'm a little bit out of balance, I suppose, because I'm so consumed with the health. But then I guess I offset that by playing in my garden. I don't call it work.
I love it.
Bare hands in the dirt. I love it.
I love it. And I love that you have found balance and really appreciate where you're at, that regular connection, willing to continue to learn and grow and share. I think those are really powerful, beautiful things. And I'm curious, when we get out of balance, or maybe even when you get out of balance, how can we get back into balance and just keep that forward momentum going? Because I feel like you are always moving forward. So how can we do that?
Once I started moving, you bet. And I am a late bloomer, I call, because I went in the service when I was 31. I got my nursing license when I was 45. And then at 72, I started this career. Mm-hmm. So I call myself a late bloomer, but all that other, was building up to it. So to me, I have to ground myself to stay in balance. Mm-hmm. And that's where my communing with God and playing in the dirt, a lot of people call it work. No. During COVID, I spent 2 years listening to, people call it woo-woo, but spiritual messages. And I'm playing in God's garden. And it was just best thing for me. God has bloomed in my life, and I welcome him. And everything has just been so much better ever since.
Beautiful. So I love that you have brought that forward of really continuing to find balance, to be grounded, and to build that into your heart and life. And I think sometimes it's counterintuitive in a sense. We feel like we got to keep moving. But when we can actually stop, pause, and ground ourselves and listen and be mindful in choosing how we move forward, what we say yes to, what we say no to, we can actually move forward more effectively, I find. So that I find that grounding is so key and important for me as well. And I love that I play in the garden as well. So absolutely resonate with that. As you reflect back on our conversation, our time today, are there any final thoughts on your heart that you want to share with our listeners?
Just find the goodness. The what comes to you goes through you. So if you allow the evil in this world to come into your heart and your life, that's what you will share. And life blooms for you when you accept love and do something kind for somebody, a smile to a stranger, or if you're in line and an older person, say, or somebody with a bunch of kids around is struggling to find money in their pocketbook, see if you have enough that you can pay that bill for them. They look at you in wonder and like, oh, thank you. You made their day. And in a sense, your own, because you gave to another.
Beautiful. Thank you, Anne. I so appreciate your heart, your spirit, and all that you're doing and leaning into. Thank you for spending time with us today. And as we go to our next commercial break, listeners, I want you to really think about some of what Anne has shared with you and what has bubbled up in your heart, in your spirit, as you reflect back on our conversations today. Look back at your notes. Even what we started our time together with, what was laid on your heart and spirit. Let's see how that has shifted, been supported, and brought forward. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Voice America is on LinkedIn. Connect with us today.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. voiceamericaempowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. I have so enjoyed spending time with all of you and with our amazing guests. And I wanted to go around the room and have our guests share their contact information. And I'm doing this very purposely. I want you to be able to have the connection, the contact with them that I do. And when they share the best way to connect in with them, they're being purposeful in doing that. So I encourage you to write down this information so you truly can lean in and connect and bring that support or those resources into your life, because it is not a solo journey. I don't know where that myth got started. It's not true. We can lean into each other and support each other along the way. So them sharing their contact information is one of the ways they are leaning in, lending support, and their books and resources that they're bringing to the world. So with that, Todd, I'd love for you to share your contact information, the title of your book again, and the best way for us to lean in and connect with you.
Sure. So again, the title of my book is called My Two Angels, Turning Tragedy into Triumph. It comes out on October 22nd, 2024. So save the date. You can jump on my wait list to get updates, and I will also be releasing exclusive launch bonuses and stuff like that. Feel free to check that out at toddboz.com/join. So that's toddboz.com/join, and you can sign up there.
Perfect. Thank you for letting us know. And I love that reminder about October 22nd so that we all put it on our calendar and have the opportunity to add this book to our library. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it. And Anne, I'd love for you to share the title of your book, the best way to connect in and go deeper.
The title is Heaven Scent, and it's like the scent of a smell, SCENT, listening to your inner voice. It's on Amazon, and the best way to get a hold of me is AnnLeMaster at yahoo.com. That's AnnLeMaster at yahoo.com, or excuse me, Taming Diabetes at yahoo.com. Sometimes that doesn't work. And if you're interested in information on my 6-week course, that's the best way to do it. Or you can call me at 972-948-9976 and leave a message, or I'll think you're spam.
Fair enough. Thank you, Anne. I appreciate that. And the best ways to connect in with you and giving those multiple email addresses is helpful, just in case, one isn't working perfectly. It's always great to have a backup. So Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. And I wanted to go around the room one more time because we just have such rich experience on the show today. And I'd love to get a final tip or thought that you each have about finding balance in our lives or falling back into balance, as the case may be. So, Todd, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is, really this whole entire topic has been really hitting me, going back to go forward as well. Mm-hmm. A lot of things have been coming up for me, especially the past week. I'm about to release my book, and, a lot of emotions can come up. And so for me, I have found myself resorting back to some of these self-sabotaging behaviors or, procrastination, things like that. And one of the most important things for me was, number one, I identified it. Number two, I accepted it, and I allowed myself to fully embrace that and but also at the same time acknowledge where it's stemming from, because I'm about to move forward. I'm about to take a step forward. And that's actually pretty normal. So just to kind of mention some of the things that, even Anne had mentioned, grounding yourself and, acknowledge yourself, hold space and give grace to yourself, but also at the same time, you still should take that step forward.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And Anne, we have just a minute or so. I'd love for you to share a final tip or thought you have on this subject as well.
Well, this is going to go back to about 1957. It's a cornerstone of how I've led my life. And it's a song that Jeannie Shepherd wrote. Money can't buy back your youth when you're old, or a friend when you're lonely, or a love that's grown cold. The wealthiest person is a pauper at times compared to the man with a satisfied mind. When life has ended, my time has run out. My friends and my loved ones, I'll leave them no doubt. But one thing for certain, when it comes my time, I'll leave this old world with a satisfied mind.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Anne. I appreciate it. And listeners, I just so appreciate each of you leaning in, sharing, being part of our journey. I hope you have been richly blessed by our conversation today and all of the wisdom, insight that has been poured into you. I know my heart and spirit has been touched. I hope yours has as well. And I want to remind you that each of you are purposely, powerfully, and beautifully made for such a time as this. The biggest gift that you can give the world is being willing to give more of you. Be willing to go back and process what needs to be processed, release what needs to be released, or claim what needs to be claimed, and then keep stepping forward to share the amazing gift of who you are. Wisdom not shared is lost forever. You have a unique voice, a unique spark that is needed in the world. So I invite you, as you take time at the end of today's show, to really process, to drink in deeply all that serves, all that supports you, release what no longer does. Include a couple of steps that you can take today to help you be seen on a higher level, to help you be more aligned with who you truly are, to help you chase after those dreams because they're placed in your heart on purpose. So what are a couple steps that you can take today? If we can be of support in any of that, know that we are here for you, and you can certainly reach out. We love to hear from our listeners. You can contact me at Rebecca@yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. I always love hearing from you, and I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to seeing you share and shine your light out. So as you go forward, please make that choice to bloom where you're planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.